All right, John, time to look ahead at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. A few golfers that we like, mybookie.ag, promo code HAM1. And let's dive in. What do you like? You had a good week last week, right? So you're betting with some carryover cash?
Yeah, good would be strong. I mean, it's just I bet on winners,
You
and
won one.
it's very hard to bet. I did bet for the first time in a long time on a top 5 guy, and he hit. He finished 5th. Scotty Scheffler. Thank you, Scotty. Who, I don't know if you saw his shirt on Sunday. It had looked, because I think he admitted to it after, they had driven to Dick's and just bought like a Nike. And Scotty's a big guy, like a triple X. It was huge. I mean, it was massive.
I guess the Nike guys can do the Tiger Red because they don't have any other logos, right?
Yeah, I guess Phil Mickelson at the Senior Tour event, did you see he had bought, he needed a red shirt, and he wanted to do it, a U of A shirt. He was wearing a U of A shirt.
But he
covered it
covered.
up.
Yeah. I think one of the sneaky things that happens on tour is you're buying all these golf shirts off the rack that guys are wearing walking around the golf course. The difference is the one on the golf course has been perfectly tailored. Some guys like the sleeve a little short. Some guys like it a little long. Some guys like it, really tight. Some guys want they want it a little more narrow. You buy it off the rack, you see all of a sudden how different all this stuff is tailored when it's custom.
Yeah, it's why I think once you meet an individual, they usually go to the same type collared shirt. That's just they just wear their one brand because it fits their body.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm thinking. MyBookie.ag, promo code HAM1, gamble on golf. I can't recommend it enough. The Arnold Palmer. I'm going to go with 4 different guys to win. And the way I do it is I just took $100 and I put 25 on each guy. So Eric Van Royen, who actually, had a little noise last week. He's got some game. He's a big underdog. I mean, his odds to win aren't great. He's 150 to 1. He would be quote unquote my flyer. $25 pays $37.50. That's a lot. Then Mark Leishman, who has won this tournament before, Florida guy, 45 to 1. $25 pays $1,100. Like that. Kisner, who I just kind of like. I think Kisner on tough courses where they don't benefit the bombers, I think can make some hay just because he's a good iron player, putts well. He's 80 to 1. 25 pays $2,000. And then Jason Day, just a guy who's kind of a really good player, who's just kind of been, it feels like his back's a little healthier the last couple of years, been much more in the mix. It wouldn't shock me if one of the days you look up and like, oh, Jason Day won a tournament again. Because he's been playing good golf now for a couple of years, just feels healthy. I don't midlife crisis with the beard or something.
The beard, yeah. When he bends down to pick up a golf ball, he's not in pain. It turns out he's just protecting himself, I think is what he has said. That part always makes me uneasy, but I've seen him bending down to pick up golf balls like that while he was T3 on the leaderboard. So,
yeah, he's the best odds, or I guess quote unquote the worst odds of guys I took. I took him 30 to 1 because some of the Rorys, Hovlands, DeChambeaus, I don't know, man. You look last week, DJ didn't even give a shit. He was like 6 to 1 at the Florida course. And Morikawa was nowhere near like a top 5 guy going into that weekend. Now he was probably 20 to 25 to 1. But this week doesn't have any of those guys. Like when Victor Hovland is your second or third best odds, it shows you're missing about 10 guys, right?
Yeah. Yep. But
which is good. I'm not saying I like Victor Hovland, and if DraftKings, whatever, I'll use him. Betting him on odds when he's not like 25 to 1 makes me a little uneasy. Like I can't do a Victor Hovland 12 to 1 at a Bay Hill. Can't do it.
I did Victor Hovland. I like Victor. I think it's a matter of time. I've got some Finau vibes, although almost feels like his ceiling. I mean, his floor is higher, right? Like he usually when he's off, there's not like an off where all of a sudden Hovland's all over the place. I just feel like he's really solid. Would you agree with that?
Well, and the Finau vibes, true. Like both are just elite players when they're on. He's way younger, right?
So $25 at 12 to 1 pays $300 on Victor with a K. If I were to name my kid Victor, I would spell it with a K, not with a C.
Agreed.
Jason Kokrak is kind of a longer, but this is top 10 finish. He finished 18th at this event last year. $25 pays $83 on Kokrak. Again, we're talking about a top 10 here, not to win. But, now it makes me think I do wonder about Kokrak to win. And then how about this one, John? We finished top 5 last year. He finished 4th last year. but Bryson DeChambeau to miss the cut. You can bet on guys to make the cut. You can bet on guys to miss the cut. Is plus 500. So $25. It's 5-1. $25 pays 125. To me, that gives you a lot of these bets you make are about Saturday and Sunday. How about we make a bet that's about Thursday and Friday to try and amp things up a little bit at the beginning of the tournament? A miss or make the cut bet. That's that. I'm doing this one for Thursday and for Friday.
To me, the miss make cut, the way to do it would be to bet a heavy favorite to miss the cut and get these great odds, right? That to me, because
how often
you're not going to get
guy's going to miss?
Well, it's hard, but they do, right? DeChambeau misses cuts, Rory can miss cuts, JT's miss cuts. You could argue if you can just, because you don't have to put, even if you put $100 to win 500, it's over 2 days. Like you don't, betting winners, even top tens. I've had guys that finish 12th. They can be 8th, and then they double 17. It can be hard on the heart. The miscut thing, I think you have a pretty good idea just going into Friday. Like, I got a chance, right? This guy shoots a couple over the first day. You're like, he's already on the outside looking in.
Right.
It can happen fast. I'm in. You sold me on that one.
I'm trying to see.
I would put $100 on that.
I don't think James Hahn is in this event. If I was looking, maybe a Cal guy could win 3 years in a row, but I don't think he's. I don't think he's playing. Real quick. How about
I got one more top 10 for you.
I was just gonna give you
this guy,
Harris English to win.
He's been playing shitty though. He was really hot earlier this year. He was excellent last year. To win it.
$10 pays $550. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate that. So what's his? He's plus 5,500.
Mm-hmm.
He's just been bad. Henrik Norlander.
Well, John Kokrak's got the same odds. Let's just go with Kokrak then.
Yeah, I think Kokrak's just playing better. Norlander is like 80-1, but a top 10 for Norlander, or maybe he's 100-1, is 9-1. Remember Norlander a couple weeks ago, great iron player at Pebble Beach, who was right in the mix. $50 pays $450. I already placed that bet.
I've got Norlander at 14-1 to win. So $100 pays $14,000. That can't be right.
So yeah, you got him plus 140, 1,400, right?
Plus 1,400, yeah.
Yeah.
$10 pays $1,400.
Ding. Pretty good.
Give me a buddy to win, John.
My buddy Scotty Raber a couple weeks ago when they were at Pebble, Sam Burns, or no, it was Torrey, not Torrey, fucking Riviera. Sam Burns at plus 125-1. Was going to win $1,250, and he was leading going into the back nine on Sunday. He fell apart.
Plus 125-1. What a pick!
I know. Wire to wire till you lose it.
Come on, Henrik.
It's a good feeling. That $10, you cannot get the high in entertainment any better than a $10 bet to pay over $1,000. You can't.
Oh my God.
Because there's no bet. This is what I always say about football. There's not a football bet I could make on a Sunday or even a Saturday on college football that can give me back $1,000 that I don't have to include like a 7-team parlay, right? So you're just holding on to your ass for all these games. In golf, even if you just take a flyer, if the guy's just in the mix, the juice that you earned your $10. But for $10 for a parlay, you got to watch 3 other games. You're going back and forth. It's way more stressful, and also I'd say equally as unrealistic. Right? Where in golf, you just got to watch the one guy. Or even if you're not even watching, you just keep tabs on your phone. Like, how's he doing? In football, you got to keep track like 6 different games. You're like, what's my spread on that one? Minus 22. You're like, oh, they're up 30. No sport gives you the odds like this. Besides futures and like who's going to win the World Series, but you got to wait 6 months.
Henrik did miss the cut at Riviera.
Norlander.
Who's had a week off, Sean?
Yeah, he was good at Pebble.
He was. He's been good this season until then.
He's a good iron player.
4 straight top 26s, including
T2. The one thing that's hard with golf, I guess it happens sometimes in football, but I'd say for the most part in football, you're going to play good back-to-back game. Like if you're a good team. In golf, you can just win a tournament and then the next week miss a cut, or vice versa, right? You could miss 2 cuts in a row and then finish top third in the tournament. And then you hear him talking like, I actually felt pretty good. It was just a couple putts here. And you're like, Dad, I wish I would have known that.
Well, when you win in football, I'm more likely to pick you the next week. When you win a golf event, you are the last guy I'm picking the next week, unless you're like
100%.
Even
like
nobody.
I would not bet on Max Homa in any tournaments the rest of the year to win.
But then it's like you look back, it's like, well, what if he has a great year?
Well, that's where to me, like you ride Max Homa for like top 10s. What if he just plays really well this year? Top 10s are a good bet. You could say Finau. The problem, his odds are so shitty, right? Like his top 10 odds are just not any good anymore. But he is. You feel pretty good.
He's gonna win, John.
You could argue of all the players in any tournament, you just take Tony top 10 in a tournament. You feel pretty good about your money.